Chapter 9. The entire encounter had only taken a minute or two at most. The room, once tidied by the kidnappers in their unsolicited occupation, was again a mess. Tables and chairs lay strewn about, some dripping with a splattering of slick blood and viscera, the same shade that streaked the walls and ceiling. The red dripped down the slope of the roof until it leveled off, dripping and forming a puddle just past the fire pit in the center of the space. Right at the feet of the aloe leader, steam and heat rose out of the bodies, their lifeblood warming the room, more than the natural sunlight dawning through the windows would have been capable of doing on its own. One of the bodies on the floor was still breathing, so faintly that Endry could not tell which, only able to hear the faint rasping of a collapsed lung through struggling moans as one of the criminals slowly had their light snuffed out. Both men stood on opposite ends of the room, Endry firm in his stance, the butt of his rifle tucked into his shoulder, barrel leveled at his target. Across the room, Endry was entirely shadowed in the silhouette of the morning light. The blue-skinned warrior swayed back and forth, subtly rhythmic, an aloe habit of staying in motion until combat had concluded in its entirety. A feint within a feint, the movement made it unreadable in a fight. The swaying contrasted Endry's firm stance to properly aim his weapon, keeping the thunderous end pointed at the center of his target's mass. Endry's breath was not labored, but he took his moment of rest to take a deep intake through his nose, holding it in his chest before releasing it through the sliver of a gap between his lips. Endry did not want to fire. This man's life was not worth the lead. But the closest weapon Endry could see in his periphery was where the largest human had gone down. The axe was not directly between the two. It favored the size of the blue defender, still swaying with intent to strike.